in one of the wards I served is how there is a family. And I mean, this was in Cancun. And they hold something called Helaman Tours. What they do is they will go to the certain sites there. I mean, most famous sites you'll hear from the peninsula are sites like Tulum, Chichen Itza, Goba, Ekbalam, and I mean that sites are just on the eastern side of the peninsula, and you got many more on the western, but they really focus on those 4 sites as well as a few smaller ones. And what these sites have to do, what they do in their job is not only do they talk about these sites, but they kind of put a correlation or a parallelism to the Book of Mormon. They use the Book of Mormon and just kind of the land features. And honestly, obviously I was able to go as a missionary to do that, but it'll be interesting to see what they talk about. And even with, what they've done, I've seen how they've taken quite a bit of people, and as their job, they do provide their history and the culture, but they also kind of base it on a spiritual side of the Book of Mormon. And I really liked how there was one member in my ward, in the ward I was serving in, told me how, we had people that maybe they just are interested in the Book of Mormon, and they just kind of want these facts. And he likes his job because it's something really interesting to find out through the Book of Mormon how these places were developed and how they have a correlation. But he said that, and this is the thing that I totally agree with him, is how they shouldn't base their testimonies on these things, but rather they need to base it on what they read through the Book of Mormon. And just as missionaries in general, as members in general, we find that to be true. And he said that, people can get these facts, but we know that we're not even perfect, and we're not like 100% accurate and like that, but we know that through the Spirit. That's why we know that the Book of Mormon is true. They don't need to visit these sites to see if it's true or not. The most important is that if they read it, they'll get that answer. And I totally agree with him, because that's how that's how I knew that the Book of Mormon is true. And that's how many of my converts knew that the Book of Mormon is true. And that's pretty much how most people, not most, if not everyone, knows that this church is true or the book is true. So just by asking if it is true and not just going by those facts. But although he does love his job, it's something it's just kind of like an extra thing to just kind of give it a backbone, or I don't know how to say it, but yeah, just give it a backbone, or give just more information that's interesting and uplifting and just something like that. So just really, I'll say, something that's really, it kind of builds that backbone on the history of the Book of Mormon and just kind of the correlation. So I don't know. I think, honestly, I haven't been through his tours or anything, but it sounds interesting, and hopefully one day maybe I'll have the chance. But just kind of those things. It's just interesting how even with these cultures, it can relate really well to the Book of Mormon, because it does have that, special testimony. It does have that, all the location and everything, and with the pyramids, it just fits really well.